And we should be live now on Facebook. Hey, it's Lou from the X. I'm with Tyler from Theory. Dude, good to be able to see your face thanks to the technology we were just kind of joking about. Very weird times, but I feel like congratulations in order. We're knocking on the door of 20 years of Theory, right? Next year.
Yes. We are old. You are correct. But we look amazing. I'm still 28 years old. So it's great. Yeah. But it's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, anything significant you guys are working on for the 20th anniversary that, I guess it's all COVID-19 permitting at this point.
Not yet. We always discuss it. It's for us, it's like more album related. Like we didn't do anything, we thought we'd do something like a 10-year anniversary of Scars and Souvenirs, but that would have been 2018. And It's tough to do, man. It's tough because you always got an album that you're promoting. So it could be cool. I think we are so looking forward to touring again that we're all about trying to do whatever. Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, you guys had an amazing tour lined up too with Breaking Benjamin. You were going to be out there with Bush, Saint Asonia. That was going to come through our area August 6th at Tinley Park. And now, like everything else, the pause button gets hit. Has there been any talk about reviving that for next year?
Not yet. It's too far out. I know we definitely are going to look into it. We would love to. And I think everyone will be very excited to see some new music. So I think, oddly enough, it'll be even like bigger next year. So I think we're all kind of optimistic that, hopefully the lineup is so good. And we played with almost all those bands in the past before. So it's all great to see them again. So you never know, man. I hope so.
Sure. Well, I'm sure we'll see something. When this whole thing started and the lockdown began, were you out on the road, or how did it all start for you? Were you at home and just kind of stayed in place?
No, we were almost. We were on tour until March 1st. We flew home March 1st, and it's just started. None of us really knew what was going on. Like, not at the airports, nothing was really different. I flew home and I'm like, no one was wearing masks. There was nothing different. And then it was like 10 days later, I think it was just full.
Yeah.
Within a week and a half, it just completely changed, and no one knew what was going on. So it happened very quickly, at least for us.
Well, I mean, you guys did get the album out, your 7th album, Say Nothing. It came out in January. I like it that you went back and worked again with Martin Trefee on this one, just like you did on your last album. What's the process like working with him versus not working with him? It seems like you guys have found your stride with Martin.
Nah, he's it's interesting because we record over in London, and his whole team is a lot of them are Swedish or Danish, and so it's the vibe over there is so different. It's very laid back. They usually speak in Swedish or something, and I think the ideas of how to make a record is something so foreign to us. It was very exciting. Like our last record, Wake Up Call, like just the way they made records was so different than we're used to. They still are very classic where they want everyone to record at once. All four of us recording everything at the same time. And then they just record it until it's like, that's the take. And it's just like almost like making movies. Like, that's the take. Oh, wait. And then it's like, everyone's done.
So
and
when you guys are playing live after recording an album like that, all in one take at the same time, does that keep the song more to sounding like what it is on the record as opposed to veering off track a little bit?
I don't know. I think the vibe is definitely better. Our last couple of records, it was really cool to be able to just have a vibe, like when you're all playing at the same time and everything is kept. So if someone kind of hits a bum note or something is a little off, it's kind of cool that it's a part of the song now. I guarantee in RX there's something in there that I'm doing that you can't hear. There's something that I love it. I love recording that way.
Yeah, it does add a layer of natural kind of a just progression to the thing. And I've heard other artists say the same thing, that sometimes something just happens and you might want to go back and fix it, but a producer like Martin might stop and say, no, leave that. It's real. It kind of adds to the song.
Yeah, there was even one song on our last record where like we didn't have anything to a grid. Everyone records now on Pro Tools, and they just cut and paste all the guitar tracks, and everything is just fake, and it's hard to really hear what's real. And we had one track where like nothing is to a grid, and it got to the point where we were so sloppy that we're like, all right, let's tighten it up a little bit, because it was like a little too sloppy for us. We were like, okay, can we go tighten it up? But I mean, that's just how Martin likes it. He just likes everything being loose and raw and real. So it's like one guitar take, and that's the guitar. That's all you do.
Going back to Wake Up Call, what was the genesis of covering Wicked Games, the Chris Isaak song, which just, I mean, I think you guys pulled it off beautifully.
That was I did a few. I think I did 3 or 4 covers. I don't remember if I played all of them for the label, but I think I remember playing. I did a Sting cover, and I think I did an Annie Lennox cover, just some different stuff. And I remember our guy heard Wicked Game. He was like, we got to do this. We have to do a cover of this. And I know everything was kind of like everyone was doing covers. Disturbed did a fantastic. I mean, they've done some amazing covers before, and so that's almost like the bar. They're just like, if you can do something like this. And so for us, we kind of went the opposite route, where we're like, I don't think we can't pull that off. They do it so well that we actually took everything out of the song. Martin was like, let's suck everything out of the song, so it's just like it's all atmospheric. And I was thinking Blade Runner. Let's use a lot of like stuff that sounds like Blade Runner. Is it Vangelis? I think that did all those sounds. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with that one.
That always seems to me to be tough if you're doing a cover, because either you tend to get something that either works really well or doesn't. And sometimes bands try to do the note for note reproduction, which, listening to it, that's amazing if you can do it, but that's not necessarily what I want to hear Theory do. I want to hear Theory do their version of Wicked Games. And is it hard for you guys to be able to find your niche with that song, taking it from what everyone knows and putting the Theory spin on it?
Yeah, that's the hardest part, is trying to figure out how to put a spin on it. So, I have the easiest part is my voice. I mean, I just kind of I sing like me, but the rest is like, okay, now how does the band get involved? And do something that's complementary to that. But we years ago we did a cover of "Mistress for Christmas," I think, AC/DC song.
Sure.
And but we did it like note for note, like you said. Everything was so very similar to, and then I just didn't like it. I was like, it sounds too close to AC/DC, like even the tones on the guitars and stuff. And I kind of wish we did something different with that song,
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying about that. It makes sense that you want to make it, your own as much as you possibly can, which it's tough because people get used to hearing it the way they hear it. And that's the battle for a band that does a cover. Now, looking at your latest album, Say Nothing, it's out now with the first 2. And by the way, the link is in the post if you want to grab that album. The first songs that we really got to get familiar with on this, History of Violence and World Keeps Spinning, both heavy songs, very deep stuff. History of Violence, of course, the domestic abuse aspect, bringing the Me Too movement in. And then you get to World Keeps Spinning, which really shines a light on depression and what people are going through. But it seems now, listening back to it, after everything that's happened with the pandemic, and this song came out before the pandemic, you guys were done with it. Listening back to it, those lyrics just seem to really fit, I think, the vibe that a lot of people have right now, the feeling a lot of people have of being socially distant and being isolated and being alone. Has it taken on any kind of a added meaning for you?
Yeah, it's funny. I think Dean, the bass player in our band, he said to me, he's like, "Hey, Ty, maybe on the next record, could you write something happy?" Then maybe that'll happen, please. And I'm like, all right. So yeah, it's kind of eerie that even like History of Violence, the chorus, the city's on fire, the streets are a riot. And now I kind of listen back. I think someone texted me like, "Dude, that's literally what's happening right now,
right.
In this country." And I'm like, So it's a little spooky, but it's obviously I'm not happy that it rings true. But the thing about depression, anxiety, and stuff like that is it just, unfortunately, it's always there. And it's just kind of, I think those songs were a reminder of what's going on. Has been going on for a long time. So, hopefully it can help some people.
Well, yeah, and it's great that you guys do take that into account. You do shine a light on it, and you do point out that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Talk to someone. There's some hope there, especially in the video for World Keeps Spinning. If you watch that, the end of it just, I mean, that says all of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting as we get older, we get less cynical. I think the old Tyler with the hate my life and some tongue in cheek stuff. I always was trying to find the kind of poke fun at misery in a sense. But now as I get older, I'm like, you know what? I could probably sing a song and actually maybe be serious and maybe say something that I find that could be important. And so yeah, there was a bit of a shift for me with the songwriting stuff, especially on the last couple of records. With RX kind of opened the door for that, I think, for me with the opioid discussion. I think I
Right.
was like, you know what? It actually feels really good that there is a little bit of a positive message here. Yeah, things will get better at the end of the day.
Yeah, and you bring me to my next point that it seems like there's been a transition for Theory in their music, in your music. It seems like it's, I don't want to say matured, but you guys have definitely, and I don't just mean gone from being guitar heavy and stuff like that, but it seems like your writing, your lyrics, and just all around working in more piano, it really has taken it to another level. Was that something that was intentional, or did you guys just kind of stumble into it organically?
Yeah, I think stumbled. It really was. It started with me getting a piano at home. A friend of mine vicariously was like, you should buy yourself a grand piano. She saw one online or something. I was like, all right. So I bought it, and then I just kind of like started playing and then started writing songs on it. And I was like, this is a really, really good decision. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of naturally flowed into something that we wanted to do. It's I think it started way back like I think it was the end of maybe the fourth record. I think the Truth Is record. And I think the label we heard through the grapevine, the label was like, stop writing these songs, stop writing these tongue-in-cheek songs. And we're like, all right, mission, all right, So I think in the label was tired of us writing these fun rock songs. And so that's kind of when the shift happened. We started writing some more serious stuff, and I love it. I really enjoy it.
So how was it going from playing guitar? Did you know how to play piano? Or was that
No.
you had to pick up?
Yeah, I had to pick it up. I mean, my dad plays piano, so I watch him growing up. But I don't know. I thought that the guitar was cooler, I guess, as a kid, so I learned how to do that instead. But now that I can, I'm still a hack. I can play some chords, but my dad still can. He's a great piano player. But now I'm like, I really enjoy just how the piano works with melodies and just playing different like inversions of chords and stuff. Something that works so well with a guitar. Before I felt like playing power chords and stuff. I was like, well, I played this guitar riff over and over. Just nothing left. So I enjoy it.
Yeah, you kind of feel like you've come to the end of it. You've done it all with one instrument. You're moving on to the next. But I got to give you credit, man, because during the lockdown, we're all sheltering in place. I started trying to expand, and I'm a bad guitar player to begin with, but started looking up the videos on how to play, and we have a keyboard laying around, and it is not an easy process. And I've read a lot that if you can play guitar, it should be a fairly simple transition. I give you a lot of credit because, doing this professionally and stepping out there with a new instrument, that's a very impressive move.
Yeah, I remember first learning how to play guitar, and I couldn't sing and play at the same time. I was like, how do they do it? They're magicians. Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah, it does get easier if you've done it for a few years. But yeah, I remember learning how to play piano, and like my hands would cramp up, and I was like, this is really hard. So it is a different feeling, man. It's like totally different than guitar.
So, from everything that's happened, we're in the lockdown. Life is on pause. Starting to open up a little bit more, which is good, as long as everybody's doing it safely. What is something you can take away from this experience that's a positive thing? Like, for example, for me, one small thing that's been positive is what we've unlocked with doing videos like this and getting people like yourself to take a few minutes, get face-to-face, be able to reach out to fans. I think it's been an awesome thing, and quite frankly, something radio should have been doing for a long time. We've had the technology. We just didn't really have the foresight to do it, But what's something that's kind of opened up for you that you've had the time to really embrace during all this?
Well, I think that just all of us are very resilient. It's interesting how like we can really go through a lot just as human beings. I think that after this all said and done, we'll look back and go, we did it, we did a pretty good job. Like I think that, and the fact just being resilient and because like I said, there's a lot of people, including myself, that like, I'm here alone, so I can't travel to go see family. And I think a lot of people just on a day-to-day basis dealing with the anxiety of what's going on. I think when it's all over, they're going to be able to pat themselves on the back and go, man, I made it. I did this. So I love that. I think that's one thing I've learned.
Yeah, you're right. We had someone with a question who popped on Facebook a long time ago, earlier this afternoon. He's a big fan of Theory. Zach wanted to ask, when are we going to see some new cover songs? You know, I know we already kind of touched on the cover songs, but anything, you know, lying around that you're thinking about working on for a new album?
There always is. I don't know if
Sure.
we'll put another cover on a record. It's tough, right? Because then it just becomes that thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
for us, a Wiki Game was the only cover song we've ever released. So for us, we're like, that could be the one little gem. I don't know if we do it now, but it doesn't mean we can't release cover songs. Yeah, I'm always working on stuff. Me and Joe, the drummer, we're working on something. I don't want to say what it was, but just something almost in memoriam of somebody that I idolized. A lot of us did. So we'll see if that ever comes to fruition. It would be great because it's an awesome song, and it's we've done it on stage a little bit, a couple times a few years ago. I think we did a little bit of it at a festival, but it'd be cool to do the whole thing. So we'll see if that one comes out.
Cool. There you go, Zach. Stay tuned and go see him live. You never know what you guys can bust out when you're playing live if the right moment hits you. So
right.
If we start wrapping up here, you know, what's next for Theory? What are we looking at for the next step for Theory and you guys?
I mean, other than keep
$1 million
record,
question, right?
Yeah, it's probably the answer you assumed, is just sitting around waiting for everything to reopen, venues to reopen. I think, I'm worried about venues closing down, just not from being open for so long. But other than touring, I did mention the guys. It'd be cool. Maybe by this time next year, we could have some new stuff. We're just sitting at home, so I might as well play something. I might as well work on something. So it'd be cool to have something new, by next year. We'll see. That'd be great.
Well, I know we're all looking forward to getting you back on stage somewhere near here, the state line, as soon as possible and safely. Hopefully you and your family and everyone in the band are all doing well and safe. Tyler, thank you for taking some time today and hanging out with us. Theory's album, Say Nothing, it's out now. You want to grab it. That link is in the post. Dude, looking forward to what's next from you guys.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on today, man.
Absolutely, dude. Talk to you soon.
You too. See ya.